Hey friends, welcome to Flow with River, or Detox with River. That I am gonna cross post this, so Flow and Detox with River. So today I'm going to also re-record. I seem to be doing a lot of that this week. A video that somehow disappeared that I recorded. So, perhaps I just forgot to hit go. But this is the follow-up to colon, my psyllium seed, how to make the colon shakes. Then I did the colon health. I talked about that. And so today I'd like to talk about some healthy ways to troubleshoot if you are having issues with things like constipation. Well, specifically constipation. And now this can be when you're cleansing or not. I know that a lot of people in our culture have bowel distress and can have some issues with that. So this is my little segment on what I believe. So again, I'm gonna turn on this overhead light here. So again, you want to be getting a lot of fiber in your diet. So fiber is great when it comes from plants. So you want to have a diet that's going to be, first of all, full of a lot of fibrous foods like leafy greens, kale, spinach, romaine, all of those kind of lettuces. Pretty much all fruits and vegetables, and especially, you can kind of see the difference between oranges and things like that have fiber, as you know, but if you think of an orange compared to an apple, like the apple has more fiber, so it's gonna kind of get more in there. And again, the fiber is going to be helpful for creating thick stools that go through and help to pass things along your digestive tract. The nice thing is when you're eating things like apples and fruits and vegetables and getting your source of fiber from that, it also has a lot of water in it. So that's the other point, is that you want to be drinking a lot of water, because we want that fecal matter to stay lubricated and not like a hard rock that's impossible to get out. So definitely drinking a lot of water. I remember when I was in school, there was this thing where you should have like half of your plate for lunch and dinner should be full of like leafy greens, and just making sure that you get a lot. I know in the standard American diet, a lot of times we see people who, when they're eating their food, there's no color on it at all. So it's just like, say potatoes and rice and meat and, dairy and processed foods, things like that. They are not going to have the fiber that you need in order to clear your colon out and not get constipated. Actually, they are going to be some of the culprits to what is causing that. Watch my last segment if you'd like to learn more about that. So besides eating good foods, doing a psyllium. So I always do psyllium husk powder when I'm cleansing. And you can go back a couple days and watch my how to make a psyllium shake. It does not taste like a milkshake. It actually has no flavor at all, to be honest with you. So that's like the key ingredient for Metamucil, but without all the crap put into it. So if you take that every morning, and you make sure to follow the directions. So you want to have to drink a lot of water afterwards, because otherwise you'll end up with that same situation of having a lot of bulk, but not having it be lubricated to go through the system. I really need to get my glasses tightened. So that's number one, is to make sure you're getting a lot of fiber. Number two, to make sure you're drinking a lot of water. People don't associate a lot of times drinking water with constipation, but it is a main key factor. So those are the two things that you want to have just in your regular life. Now, if you are constipated, if you're doing a detox, sometimes it can take a minute for your poo to get through you. I know when I was coming off of my water fast, I had to have a bowel movement, a natural bowel movement without using like an enema or colonic, before I could start eating certain foods like fats, just so my body would be able to process. So I remember just being like, come on poo, like praying for poo. I think it took like a week before I had a poo and could finally start craving avocado, something fierce. But this is my recommendation for a go-to. This is the first thing I try. Smooth Move tea. I think that there's probably a few different brands, I would assume, that are like this, but this is Traditional Medicines make this, and this is great because it has some gentle herbs in it, like senna. So senna is something that if you are doing things like laxatives, that is going to be a key component. However, please friends, do not resort to over-the-counter laxatives. They are very harsh on your system, and there are other great ways to be able to help yourself out. So this is the first thing I do if I'm ever constipated. It takes about 12 to 18 hours to go into effect. So drink it at night before you go to bed, and then hopefully the next day it will activate. If it doesn't, drink it again and then let it sit one more day. And then if you're still not able to go, then, you know, by all means, do other methods that I'm going to speak about. I just want to show you I have a lot of tea that I drink, but this is my, you know, I have the green tea and all that kind of stuff over there, but this is my, my fun, like bedtime, cold, detox, roasted dandelion root teas. I love this little cupboard area here. It makes me happy. So, all right, Smooth Move tea. The next thing, I would recommend doing an enema. So now you can go an enema or a colonic. So the difference is enemas are, so enemas are about a quart of water. So again, turn this on. Ugh, it's really harsh. It's about 32 ounces of water. I'm gonna get out my enema bag so you can see it. And then versus a colonic. Now they have Clemma boards that they're called, that you can buy and have them at home. And I used to have one, and they were great because you can just, set it up, and basically it's a 5-gallon bucket that you fill up with water, and you create, you know, section through a hose that goes down and through, and you know, you're not putting all that in your body at once, but you'll put it in and let it release and then fill back up, and it's great. But you know, that's for, I'm kind of an extreme person sometimes in the cleansing world. So the other thing is that you can go to somebody and have a colonic done. There's a lot, I'm sure if you live in any kind of a town with substance, you'll be able to find a colon hydrotherapist is the technical term. Now these are great because they have closed and open systems. The one system you can actually watch if you want. You can watch what comes out of you, and I love it. I just think it's fascinating to see what I'm getting out of me when I'm cleansing, especially. But so if I was constipated, I may go and get, you know, a colonic, or you can just do an at-home enema. It's the quickest, it's cheap, it's easy. So this is the bag. So now this bag has many different options. It has a little guy that you just undo, and this holds a quart of water. So in my little hot teapot guy that I have the one that heats up in different temperature readings. So the lowest is 104 degrees. So I'll set it at that, and then I'll let it cool down, because you want it to be at body temperature. You don't want to be burning your booty, and you also don't want, or more like your colon, and you also don't want it to be cold, because when it's cold, it's really uncomfortable. It can cause kind of cramping, and also, if you think about it, if you have dog poo on your hands, would you rather use warm or cold water to get it off. You know, you'd want to use warm. So also, if you don't have a teapot that, you know, you can measure, even if you do, obviously this one, I used to have a teapot that I could set the degrees and it would go up to 96 and then stop. So that was awesome. And, but if you don't, I just use this, which is like a meat thermometer, right? So it's just one of these guys that you like stick in your turkey, and I just monitor it with that. So, so once the water is up to temperature, you fill this up. Now this has 3 functions. It has a plug without a tube coming through it that you can use and fill it up with really, really hot water, and it becomes a hot water bottle. So if you have things like cramps or fibroids or digestive distress where you're getting, you know, owies in your tummy, this is a great tool. And then you can, if you're not using it for that, if you want to use it for an enema or a douche bag, it has 2 different purposes. Is you just put this on. It has a hose that comes down, and there's 2 different types of tip. So I'm cleansing right now, so I have this one. This is the one for the enema. It's just a short, straight little tube. So you'd fill this up with water. I go into the bathroom, pat a towel down on the ground, and I will put a little olive oil on this. And then, you know, if you Google how to take an enema, I'm sure that there's a lot of different videos out there that will be helpful. You can lay on your side, you can lay on your back, you know, whatever works for you to get this little guy in. My recommendation is, unless you're really familiar with things going up your pooper, to kind of, so your butt is a one-way valve, right? It's not meant to have things go up the other way. So it's not like going to be like, ooh, come on in. So you kind of want to get this in your little butthole area and then kind of wiggle around till it kind of easily goes in. Otherwise you might get a little cut or something, you know, kind of scrape your booty. So it's not painful. You can't even really feel it going in. And once it's there, it just kind of stays in place. But before you put it in there, you want to, I hang, so it's gravity fed, right? So it has a hook on the bag. So I usually hang it like on a towel rod, something like that. And it has this valve on it, this little quick release guy, so you can control the water coming in. So you can release it and let the water flow full bore. You can do 1 click and kind of tamp it down a little, or you can completely shut it off. So you're going to want to hang this, you're going to want to shut the valve off, you're going to want to stick it up there, and then you're going to want to have this valve at somewhere where you can control it. So you're going to gently like let the water come in. If you're constipated, it's imagining having a tube with a block in it. So it's going to hit that probably pretty quick depending on where you're constipated at. Because remember, the colon, it goes up, it goes over like our belly, and then it goes back down on our right side to meet with the small intestine. So if it's going to hit that, it might cause pain. So you want to stop. If anything causes pain, just stop the pressure and let it sit for a minute and do its thing, because it's water, right? So it's gonna lubricate it. And once the pain goes away, you can allow a little bit more water in. And you're gonna do this to the point where you just can't, you don't feel like you can hold it anymore. Then you're just gonna hop up onto the toilet. And don't worry, it's not gonna, when you take this out of you, it's not gonna just come flying out, water or anything else. And then just hop on the pooper, and the water will come out. Kind of sounds like when you have diarrhea. And then if you weren't able to get very much water in, just go again. And you know, it's really great. I know my mom said that when she was growing up, whenever they were sick, grandma would give them enemas. Super smart. It's getting rid of all of this and helping clean it out so that your body can heal. So and then also, if you are going to use it for a douche, you would just take this tip out. It has a different longer tube with a little thingy with water that squirts all sorts of ways, because our vaginas are, when you put it up there, it's a wider cavity, if you will. And so again, I'm going to talk about douching later at a different episode, but Do not do it because you think you have a smelly vagina, things like that. I only recommend it if you have something like a yeast infection, and I will give you some tips and tricks on how to treat that doesn't involve harmful products to your body in a little while. So enema is my next go-to enema bag. So a couple other things. I'm going to give you a couple other tips. So when you are trying to poo and you're having a hard time, now remember, you don't want to be sitting on the toilet for a long time. If you can't go, don't just hang out there, because it causes strain and can cause hemorrhoids if you're sitting on the toilet for a long time. And the same thing if you're grunting down and, you know, clenching and stuff like that. And actually, when you do that, it does the opposite to your body of what you want. So if you deep breathe, so while you're pooping, that actually, the deep breathing stimulates the peristaltic muscles, which are the muscles in your colon. And so it actually creates a pumping movement. So it's great. So that is super helpful. So think about that next time. And then lastly, I'm going to show you, so a squatty potty. I might turn the light on for just a second. So this is my squatty potty here. So this is it's just a portable plastic delightful thing that they started making. Yay. It just fits right under the bowl of your toilet, and so when you poo, you can just pull it out and put your feet on it. So here's the deal. Take a seat. And yes, please notice our Yoda behind the toilet. I love that thing. Okay, so here's the deal. When most people take a poo, they sit, you know, like this, right? That is the worst position for pooping in. It's kind of like laying down flat on a bed is the worst position to have a baby in. Right? Our body has certain ways that it wants to do it. The most optimal position for pooping, and if you've ever pooped when you're out in the woods, is like this, where you're squatting on the ground, and the same with childbirth. So what this does, the squatty potty, is it kind of mimics that for your body. So if you pull this out, put your legs on it, so see how it kind of creates an upward effect? So much, much better. Now I've been a lot of places where there is no squatty potty, so I will take a trash can if I'm at a hotel and flip it upside down and put my feet on that, or find a bucket, or anything, really, anything to lift your feet and make it so that you have an angle. Now, sometimes if I'm constipated, I will put my feet up on the squatty potty. Another position is if you were to bend over your legs like this. So, and sometimes you could alternate of feet up on the squatty potty kind of thing, and then bending over like this. And it's gonna create different motions. So you're actually using those to kind of, again, pump your colon to help with the, you know, issue. So nobody wants to be constipated. It is not pleasing, it's uncomfortable, and it's not good for you. So I hope that this is helpful. Just scan and see if there's anything I'm forgetting. Oh, castor oil. So castor oil was used a long time ago for helping with constipation at an internal. So they would take it internally. I'm not familiar with that at all. So if you're interested in that, you can go research it yourself. But what I will say is if you take castor oil and you rub it all around your stomach. So remember, this is my right side. So your colon comes in here, comes up, goes over your belly button, and then comes back down, and then wraps around and comes out. So when you put on castor oil, you want to lift up your shirt, take your shirt off. You want to coat your whole entire belly, like all that whole area, with castor oil. And then you want to put a towel or something down, because castor oil will stain fabric. And then I put a heating pad on it. So I would do this before I go to bed. This is also a great thing to do for things like fibroids and cramps, because castor oil softens. So it softens our skin, it softens our hair, it softens internally. So when you're, and that's probably why they would do it internally, I'm imagining. But so it even goes through your skin. So if you put it on your belly and then you add heat, which is great because it'll sink it down quicker, it'll actually penetrate deep down, and it will kind of allow it to soften and just help you. So great thing to do, and leave it on while you're sleeping, right? Just leave the castor oil on. It is sticky. So this is why I like to do it, you know, when I'm going to bed and I don't have to worry about my clothes and things like that. I guess coffee, you know, coffee is a thing for some people. It's a kind of has a laxative effect for some people. Yeah, I think that's about all I can think of right now. Hey friends, so I'm just gonna add one thing that I forgot into this recording of how to deal with constipation. If worse comes to worse, and say you actually do need some sort of a laxative help, if you are doing a detox with Dr. Hunter at the clinic, again, he does it twice a year. It's a physician-guided detox, and they offer you supplements that are related to the cleanse from the Medicinary. So they do have a Medicinary there at the Coeur d'Alene Healing Arts. And Dr. Hunter has this product called Casper's. And it is, they come in capsules, and it's herbs that are kind of a natural laxative, if you will. So they help to stimulate the colon and help you get moving along. Again, these are things that I would use very last resort. And you can also find products at health food stores that that are laxative, like that have things like Cascara sagrada, which is a natural stimulant, a laxative style. It kind of stimulates your intestinal walls to kind of like I was talking about with the deep breathing. So just a couple of ideas if nothing else is working for you. And yeah, again, please don't suffer the same consequences my Aunt Betty, who died from an impacted colon. Take care of that. All right. Have a great night. See you tomorrow. Wish you all well. May your pooping be free and easy and as quick as possible. And, you know, sometimes I swear I poop faster than I pee most of the time. So may you all have healthy bowels, and thanks for watching me. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Okay, bye.